Paul, where is the research showing soy consumption has feminizing effects in men? Soy does not have any feminizing effects in men. If soy is feminizing, then show me the fucking evidence, Paul.
There's research in rats comparing soybean extract, BPA, which is a xenoestrogen, 17-beta-estradiol on the testicles, showing that soybean extract looks a lot like BPA and 17-beta-estradiol in rats. That's not a good thing, and it decreases hormone levels. In human men, there's a study showing inverse association, meaning the more soy food intake there was, the lower the sperm concentration in the semen. There was a study done comparing soy protein to whey protein, looking at hormonal responses to lifting weights in men. After 14 days of supplementation with soy protein, there was a blunting of serum testosterone relative to whey protein. So I think that there is a pretty significant amount of evidence that soy is feminizing for men and males across multiple species.
No, this is a prime example of Paul Saladino ignoring the total body of evidence to suit his bias. And I will explain why during this video. While we do that, I will also show you the best available evidence that we have whether soy consumption is truly feminizing for men or not. The first study was done on rats, and I'm very glad to hear that he specifically pointed out that it was an animal study, something that he doesn't really do that much during his videos. Regardless of that, you and I are not a rat. And while animal studies are hypothesis generating, the results of animal studies don't correlate over to humans that well. And that is why I would like not to focus too much on the rat study. Let's go over to the human study that he cited, because this is about to be fun. The first study he cited was a cross-sectional observational data. For those of you that don't know what cross-sectional mean, allow me to explain. It's an observational-based study that doesn't actually really follow up with the questionnaire, meaning they take the data in at the baseline at the start of the study and just observe the people. The limitation here is that people can change their dietary behaviors across the many years that they get followed by the researchers. Hence why cross-sectional data is considered weaker, because prospective cohort studies don't face that problem. Prospective cohort studies are a type of observational data that follow up on people. The follow-up data in the studies I've seen on prospective cohort studies is usually done in a couple of years or so. So that's already the first limitation. But Paul, allow me to pose you a question. You are the one stating observational data is garbage. You are the one stating that questionnaires are not very reliable. Why do you cite it here? And why do you cite weaker observational data? Maybe a couple of questions that I would like to hear your answers. But let's look at the study. They included 99 male partners of sub-fertile couples. So already from the get-go, we can see that these 99 males included in the study at baseline were sub-fertile. On top of that, we are dealing here with overweight participants. It's clearly defined here that their BMI was over 25 at the start of the study. Apart from all the flaws that we discussed, I would like to point your attention towards an average, which is truly interesting. The average we are talking about is their isoflavone intake. It was 5.4 milligrams per day. Now, since many of you that might not know on how much soy we are talking about that the participants were eating during the day or on a daily intake, let's have a look. The numbers on the right are the protein intake, so you can just focus your attention fully on the numbers in the middle row. 1 cup of soy milk contains 6 milligrams of isoflavones. 3 ounces of tofu has 20 milligrams. Soybeans boiled contain 55 milligrams. So we are talking and speaking about people that on average just consumed 1 cup of soy milk. And again, we are talking about overweight people here. How many calories that they were consuming truly came from soy foods? Yeah, Paul, this is not really strong evidence that you cited so far. But let's have a look at the other study, which is a randomized controlled trial. The study right here is the one that Paul cited during the video. It sounds already more promising than the other study, just from the title alone. So how many people were included in this study for Paul to make such huge, bold, specific assumptions about soy? We are talking here about 10 people. 10 resistance-trained men volunteered to participate in this study. They gave the participants a supplement, 20 grams worth of that supplement, either containing soy protein, maltodextrin, or whey protein. And by the way, the scientists didn't even assess their overall dietary patterns during this study. So I don't really see how this is strong evidence either. It's a small sample size, the duration of the study wasn't very long, and the dietary patterns were not really assessed at the beginning. Let's have a look at much stronger evidence. This updated meta-analysis of clinical study was released in 2021. A total of 41 studies were included with over 1,700 participants. They concluded that soy consumption does not seem to appear to have any feminizing effects. As a matter of fact, I would like to highlight one specific sentence from the results. This updated and expanded meta-analysis indicates that regardless of dose and study duration, neither soy protein nor isoflavone exposure affect hormone levels in men. Neither duration nor dosage do seem to appear to have an effect on the hormones in men. And by the way, I'm consuming soy products on a daily basis. And as you can hopefully see, soy doesn't seem to have a feminizing effect on me as well. However, the fact that I put my own little anecdote at the end of the video is as follows. An anecdote remains an anecdote. There's so many confounding variables that I or you might not take into consideration. And if something works well on me, doesn't necessarily mean that it can work on many people as well. Hence why we need to rely on science. And thankfully, we have a huge meta-analysis looking at clinical trials just doing that. So dear Paul, I would love to hear the reason why you left out this huge meta-analysis. And if you left it out because you thought it wasn't strong evidence, then please, I would like to hear your comments on why. What exactly about the 41 studies done on over 1,700 participants do you think is wrong or weaker than the studies you shared? What are your thoughts about this topic? Feel free to let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.